Merry Christmas! Hope you guys are having a fantastic season. Today's December 25th and I should be spending the day with my family, but instead I'm here to give you some amazing real estate tips and tricks here in the GTA. Make sure you slam the subscribe button, tell my family that you're sorry. And today I couldn't figure out which tie to wear, whether I should wear green or red, so I ended up somewhere in the middle. But today we're going to talk about what everyone loves to discuss around Christmas time, deals. Did you know that if you buy a property either in the spring or the fall, that you have a better opportunity of making more money than in the winter? To the point where you can actually share these numbers with you, 10 to 26% more. That's tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm going to show you right now in this video how that works. Let's start off with charts. This one shows the average selling price of a GTA home since 1996. Damn, that's like 3 decades ago almost. Anyways, first thing you'll notice is in 2017 that there was a peak market, of course. And if you want more information on how that works on an ongoing basis, make sure you subscribe because you're going to learn so much as far as things that progress. But the next thing you're going to notice is that it gets a little bit bumpy. It's not just a straight line. There are bumps all the way up, all the way down. This is because of one fun fact, that real estate changes based on the season that you're in. Before I get into some of the specifics, let me just introduce myself. My name is Bradley. I'm an investor and a realtor. I'm actually a broker here in the GTA. We do videos like this all the time. Make sure you slam the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, leave us a like, leave us a comment because it creates good content for us to share on a weekly basis. Let me share with you a chart here again. This time I want to show you specifically the ups and the downs over the last couple years, and I want you to kind of paint the picture. I want you to be able to see that every season is a little bit different and be able to identify which ones are which, knowing what you're going to do and having the right strategy. I'm going to share with you an example as well of how you can make killer money by doing it right. So look at this chart. As we're looking at this chart, you'll notice a little bit of a weird thing in 2017 because of the way that the market acted, and you can kind of learn a little bit more about that if you go back to the videos at that time. In March, April, we saw a peak, but then September, October, November, and then April, May, June on an ongoing basis are at the top. And as far as the bottom, every January, which is kind of the end of the winter, if you will, that month specifically, and August and in December, we see that we hit the bottom of these valleys over time. Maybe as you're looking at these charts, you're starting to see the trend that happens, but I really want to highlight it with you because these are just bars on a graph, but they are real numbers. When we look over the last 5 years, check out this chart. I want to break down for you what those numbers look like. Over the last 5 years, from 2015 to 2019, from the high to the low, there is a gap between 10 to 26% in 2017. Now, again, that was a bit of a weird year. But even if we're at the low, 10%, we're talking anywhere from $73,000 to $187,000 in a single year simply due to seasonal changes. Now you know why I'm not spending any time with my family on Christmas, and instead I'm sitting on your screen watching and teaching you a little bit about real estate. I'm going to show you an article here. Now, I'm not calling out any one writer or reporter. In fact, myself, agents across the industry, alternative media, and the news outlets on an ongoing basis are often, they mix up numbers because they're doing things month over month. Check out this article here. They are highlighting that there have been an increase in sales over the 5 consecutive months. Now, when we dive deeper into that article, we can see which months they're referring to. Check out this chart. Now, they're speaking specifically from December 2017 to May 2017. You can actually see that article was published in June 5th, 2019. Now, what's happening here is someone is taking the seasonal changes that are anticipated. Now, maybe one of the months were a little bit off, but generally we see this trend happen every single year. So why is that a headline in a newspaper? If I'm going to take anything out of this and share it with you, I would just encourage you guys, as you're taking your numbers, take it with a grain of salt, look at things year over year. Those figures are always way more reliable than month over month. Month over month is to be very detailed, and you need to know what you're looking at before you're analyzing those figures specifically. Let me share with you a scenario of a client of mine in the last year or two that was able to capitalize on this seasonal fluctuation in a very unique way. Now, I did a video that's actually on our channel, Watson Estates, and I will share the link as well on our YouTube channel. But here's a little clip from that home which we had listed, and it was a fixer-upper. Check it out.
All right, let's check it out.
Alrighty, so we are now in the home. Just want to show you the upper level first and then we'll jump into the basement. So you can see there's a lot of stuff lying around. They've got a lot of material because they were planning on doing these spaces and then they stopped. Like there's insulation. They're going to redo a lot of flooring and that kind of thing. But this area is also fascinating. So this here was the kitchen and bathroom. The bathroom was in the back, kitchen was in the front, but none of it exists anymore. So we know we're looking for either a fixer and flipper, or we're looking for someone to buy it, fix it up and live there, or somebody that just doesn't care if they have a toilet in their house. I'm just kidding, there's actually one downstairs. All right, so now we're actually in the basement. So I'm just gonna show you around. I'm gonna do a 360. So they actually, as they ripped out the upper level, they actually tore out this section too. This was actually finished when we first bought it. There's a lot of stuff because they haven't finished clearing out yet. So there's the home. You can see it's in big disrepair. The scenario was very unique. One, you need to watch that video to figure all of that out. But when he purchased that home, this construction was not necessary. This was a move-in home. Now, of course, it was a little bit dated, but it was a great house, and it actually allowed for a basement apartment, and there's a lot of unique things to it. But let me share with you the historical numbers, because you'd think if you demoed a property, which would probably need $60,000 to $70,000 of work once you've done that, a minimum. I actually was quoting people more, but as a minimum, you'd think you'd take a loss on that property, but check out, because of the dates that he bought and sold that home, what he ended up doing. He purchased this home December, which is right before January, which is that low, for $250,000, but then he flipped it in a matter of 2 years, but he sold in June 2018, and he actually sold over asking by 15 grand. He did really well. We had multiple offers. In fact, we had 3 offers coming in on that property, and he sold for $305,000. There is no logical reason year over year with growth that would happen apart from a seasonal fluctuation. Now, of course, there's been some growth, but keep in mind that in 2017, that is the year that we had that up and the down. So even with all of that change that happened, there was still a way for him to come out positive. But I can't just leave you guys there, because again, there's another layer to it called, what I like to call, move up buyers. Now, even though you're seeing a price growth every spring and every fall, isn't just a straight price growth. All of a sudden the homes are worth so much more. There is a movement that happens every year that you really want to know, because if you're, depending on what home you have and what you're selling, you want to be well positioned. What we actually see is early in the spring, generally speaking, semis, condos, and townhomes are being sold, which are of course at a lower price point. Later in the spring, we start to see the detached homes being sold, which are of course a higher price point. I wanted to give you guys the real numbers, so I actually wanted to figure out the detached, semis, condos, and towns, what percentage of all the homes that are sold are in these areas for each season, so January through to June, and you can see clearly that detached home sales have actually increased as the summer continued, and the condos and semis become a smaller and smaller portion, which of course leads to a price growth every single season. Which means that even though you see price increasing every single spring, doesn't mean you necessarily want to wait. What you need to do is be able to identify where your home is on this chart and have a broker that can explain it to you and position you properly to get the most money. Now, I want to share with you, generally speaking, where the month, just as another chart, another way of visualizing this, which months if you're moving up or moving down, because keep in mind, if you're moving up, that purchase price, if that growth is higher than the home that you're selling, that growth as a percentage, there's going to be opportunities in either moving up or moving down. Now, if you're going straight across, it doesn't really change anything, but generally people are either going for a home either higher or lower. So if that's you, check out this chart here. In this chart, where you see green means that is the best months for you to make a move. Now, whether you're moving up or moving down will impact where you fall on this category. Given all of these, of course, you're going to want to chat with a broker to figure out how this would apply to you. And I'm hoping you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Now, get off your device, get off your TV, your computer, whatever you're doing watching this, unless you're watching as a family, in which case, good for you. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not, get the family involved. Feel festive. Holidays, great. I'll see you guys next time with more tips and tricks. Take care and keep it real.